So I guess he's in a runoff for Senate, him and one other guy, and it's been delayed until July because of COVID. So that's what he's up to. He's in the race. I didn't look and see who was ahead, but
I'm so split on the COVID thing because, like, not as far as like the actual virus. Like, yeah, it's real bad. The economy collapsing is also really bad. I feel like all the online takes you're getting are people being like, "Oh, you want to reopen the economy because you want to see people die and the stonks go up?" And it's like, well, no, but like, the economy crashing means a lot of people are going to suffer. So
I think we should close the highways.
It's not something to be frittered about and talking like it's not a big deal. It is a big deal. Lots of people are going to suffer because of that. But also, like, it's absolutely a real virus. This isn't some anti-Trump fucking nonsense. Like, it's real. But that wasn't the whole point of it. I love the quarantine working life. I am getting so much more done in so much less time. I'll pop into a call, happens so quick. Instead of it being
some
2
days
hours
I work
long,
90 minutes, 2 hours a day.
Yeah, I wish it was down to that, but that'd be pretty choice. But basically, it's like instead of it being a 10 to 1:30 or 10 to 12:30 meeting, it's 10 to 10:40, and then I just bang shit out.
That's a long meeting.
I've been in some fucking long ass meetings, and usually it's like, you know how it is. You've been in those where it's just, there's serpentine paths that go off of what you're talking about, and you go down a rabbit trail, and it just doesn't work as well. Whereas this, like, I feel like because everyone's on the phone, like you don't want to over talk as much. You want to be like, oh, something like, here's another update. Blah, blah, blah happened. I implemented this. This is in the works. Should be done by X date. That's where we're at with this. And it's just simple, straightforward, boom. And then you get off the call early, you bang shit out. It's great. That part of the quarantine is tits. I hope it would be awesome if I never had to go back into offices again. But
do you think that there's a realistic chance of, I'm sorry, I want to know though, that going forward, working from home becomes a viable alternative in a way it wasn't before?
It absolutely is a viable alternative. Like, there are a couple of things I've mentioned on either PKN or here where, like, in-face sales, you still want to be in front of their face.
It's more effective. I'm getting your opinion. What I want is your prediction of management opinions.
Oh, yeah. From what I've seen, businesses are struggling right now. Well, most businesses are struggling, especially smaller businesses. But they're not struggling because they're having to work from home. They're struggling because of COVID. Like, no additional miscommunications and problems are happening because people are working from home. And so I think that commercial real estate is going to take a huge fucking hit after this, because people are going to realize, I'm wasting a bunch of overhead when I could, maybe have a smaller office and people would come in and intermittently work when they need to. And other than that, stay home. And so that's what I'm hoping kind of happens from this, is that companies realize, hey, there's really no reason for people to come in. There's no reason for a commute time. This
right. Taylor's plan is to, because of this coronavirus, have everyone use different cubicles every day, right? Like, it's sort of we could call it the viral plan, right? Today you use that cube. Tomorrow I use that cube. The next day a third person uses that cube. That's our virus response.
So no, basically what it would be is, instead of having a very large office with multiple conference rooms and things, you would have maybe one office with a big conference room, so that if you did need an in-face thing, you can go there. It's going to be sanitized, obviously. But unless you need to use that for an in-person kind of meeting or something, you just do it on your computer. You just do it at home. And so it would be like a temporary workspace for just when people needed it. And even that, you could probably rent out a fucking Marriott lobby for cheaper than that. So yeah, corporate or commercial real estate is going to take a hit from this, because tons of small businesses are realizing they can get everything they want done from home for less money. And when you're a small business, every dollar matters. You're not fucking J&J or Procter & Gamble or someone, or Monsanto, where you can just fucking be like, yeah, that's a pretty good ad. How much do you want to throw behind it? 100 million? Not just, let's do 300 million. Let's just do, who cares? Who fucking cares, dude?
You say one, I say three. It's all the same.
Yeah, that's kind of like a accounting error in Monsanto here. Like,
the thing that I talked about is what Cisco used to do, right? So some people had their dedicated cubes they'd use every day. That's what I had. Other people would have temporary outfits. So you'd go into work not knowing where you're going to sit. And that cube would have the supplies you need, your monitor, your docking station, your stapler, your whatever. And you would just work there that day. And then tomorrow you'd have a different spot. And there was just sort of like, so you didn't really own a cube as much as you just use one that day. And you could also work from home. So you could have 10 cubes serve 70 people. And that was the way that they saved on real estate. You see how it works now, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's smart. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
It's smart, but maybe not in the COVID era, right?
No, not right now.
Right? Yeah. So like that to me seems like a really good way to transmit a virus now.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure people are gonna, offices are gonna go back to normal for the most part, but I really wish that a lot of companies start working from home. It just makes so much sense. It makes so much sense. You save so much fucking time. Even the amount you save in the meetings, the amount you save in commute alone for so many people.
A lifestyle upgrade. How long is your commute? Am I asking, is that something you're willing to say?
Yeah, well, I mean, it depends like where I'm going that day, but like, 15 to 30 minutes, sometimes even more, depending what's up, what I have to do, where I have to go.
That can be an hour of day you get back. That's significant, right? Like if a third of your time is spent sleeping and a third of your time is spent working, you only have 8 hours of non-working time. You change that to 9 because you save an hour driving. Like, that's really significant. Like the second you push your chair away from your desk, your personal time begins. Like that's kind of nice.
Yeah, exactly. And like it was maybe like Monday or whatever, some day this week or maybe last that I was, got up. I'm still getting up normal time, like because I usually have calls in the morning time, and I was working on some stuff, and it got to be like 2 p.m. and I was done with everything I had to get done that day. 100% of it. I'd even done some extra. And I was kind of just sitting here on my work computer being like, I'm done. All right. Well, I'm going to go work out, and then I'm going to play with my dogs. I'm going to cook some dinner, and I'm going to watch a movie, or I'm going to do a little bit of yard work. Like you're right. That's the best way to put it. An enormous lifestyle upgrade. Sucks not being able to go to the store or see my friends, but the working aspect of it, I could do this forever. It's great.
Do you miss the social part of work? Because there is a social component where you have work friends and guys you goof with. There are people at work, depending on my people I work with closely would change all the time as my projects changed. But sometimes I'd be like, dude, I kind of like going and see Mike. Like I'm kind of looking forward to seeing Mike today. I enjoy his presence. Do you miss that?
That's true. Yeah, there are bits of that you miss. More than bits, because it's like you develop relationships with people, and it's like you do want to see them every so often. But Zoom has fixed most of that. Every business in America is on Zoom right now, and it's kind of solves it in most ways. It's really shining a light on like, we've just kind of been living in an anachronistic version of what the business world should be in 2020. We're living in 1987, that format where we should be in the 2020.
So when you do your Zoom meetings at work, are you there like you are right now with like $800 worth of audio equipment sounding like you're in a radio studio and everyone else is on like earbuds and bullshit?
I was gonna do that. I did one call like that at the very beginning of the quarantine. Didn't consider the nonsense behind me and everything. And I did have my professional mic set up. Meanwhile, everybody else is like, Am I coming in clear? that kind of shit. And then ever since then, I've been like, no, nobody else even wears headphones. I'm just going to put it out in my dining room and have it face a wall with a mirror on it or something, and just use my laptop. So yeah, I have not been using this room anymore for that.
I like having, so even when I play like Call of Duty or whatever, this is the mic I speak into. And while I don't hear me, I do have a certain confidence. Like I sound different than the rest of these plebes, I'm coming in through this voice over IP bullshit.
That's one of the things, like I feel like most of the people that I play with have this setup more or less. They've all got headsets, and maybe not my mic and your mic, but like
good
mics. They've got a $500 setup for their ears and mic or whatever.
Yeah,
that's one of the key components to whether I'm going to be playing video games with you on a regular basis or not. Is like if you don't have a good microphone,
and if you don't stay near it, right?
If you don't stay near it, yeah. If you let that thing get out here and you start trying to, no, it's not going to work, dude. Come on,
I will tell you, you want to feel like the most alpha talking guy ever? Join a Zoom meeting with a bunch of people who are using their built-in laptop mics and have this kind of setup. You can silence anyone with a bitter voice. I'm speaking right now. Do you not hear? They're just coming in all tinny and shitty, and you can just fucking power through.
It's
Of course, I didn't do that, but you realize that you trample on someone just a tiny bit, and you just totally overwhelm them.
Yeah. I feel like my voice carries more authority because it's coming across good audio gear.
I think I could even like boost my bass if I want to. Which slider is?
I can too. I've turned that off actually. I used to boost the bass, but I think it makes you feel more macho, but it makes you sound muddier and less intelligible.
That one.
Yeah, that was
Also,
not the right
just
one.
having a boom mic, like an arm.
It sounds
for it.
bad
People
when
see
you
that,
move
they're
that,
like,
Taylor. I think you might
Oh,
not
I'm
know,
sorry.
but there's like it's a bad thing that happened.
is it screechy?
I think I'm
No.
hearing the springs reverberate through the mic every time you move. it.
Does mine do
That
it?
might be it.
No,
No, yours isn't doing it.
no. But
What
Taylor's
if I-
does it,
I bet.
and
I
it's
bet if I
I will-
tap it.
I will not. I did not know that. I will.
yeah.
Start
No,
with
I'm
it.
trying.
It's not
I don't
sounding loud on mine.
Yeah, it sounds
I-
like shit, Taylor.
Taylor, audio asshole is apparently my role on the show.
I'll never move the mic.
Hang up on him.
Get him out of here. All right, so we're searching for a new third.
What Lefty's doing?
Lefty did have good audio for any falls he may have had. His audio setup was good.
That would be such a funny prank. Just next week, show up and it's like, well, we had a big ass falling out. Lefty's back.
Taylor wouldn't stop touching his boom.
He was touching his fucking mic. He did it at least 3 times. And then, you did it one more time and you're off the show, bitch.